I say, let's have a show.
Oh, fix your collar. There we go.
I say, let's have a show. Thursday, December the 20th. Here's what we're working on. This morning, Canada Post is set to start accepting commercial letters and parcels today as it works through the backlog.
Hamilton's Tim Hortons Field is about to get a new name.
Listen to me.
And a short list of Oscar contenders in 10 categories has been revealed. Okay, all put together now.
Now we're all set, ready to go.
Ready to go.
Kind of matching.
Yeah, okay.
All of us.
Hey, look at that.
I like this. Happens quite by accident.
Every now and again. Okay, what are we saying here, Brian?
Well, a little chillier this morning.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
you'll notice that when you step outside. We were +2 at this time yesterday. We're -2 right now. Wind chill -6.
And I guess the temperature, is that the reason where we didn't really get that much snow?
Yeah,
or any snow?
the temperature stayed mild yesterday. We got to we sat around +2 during the afternoon, so we didn't get that snowfall. Oh, but wait, we do have some snowfall in the forecast, and that's going to start overnight tonight into the day tomorrow. Today, not a big deal. Some flurries around this morning. It'll be a mainly cloudy sky, so that means we'll see a little bit of sunshine. But today, it's going to be a little bit on the cool side for the day today. We're going to sit around the -1 degree range, so we're not going to climb to the plus side today. As I said, we're sitting at about -2 right now with a wind chill of -6. But tonight, we'll start to get some flurries moving in. They could be heavy at times, and then tomorrow, we're looking like some blowing snow tomorrow, and maybe 5 centimeters of snow during the day tomorrow. So it'll impact the morning commute tomorrow and tomorrow afternoon as well. So we're going to get some white stuff, but that happens tomorrow. And we'll talk about that coming up. All right, let's get to the traffic watch. Nothing happening here this morning, which is good. Yesterday morning, we had a couple of collisions on the 403. This morning, nope, nothing going on. That looks fine. Some MTO traffic cameras, Nikola Tesla Boulevard, Toronto bound towards us, toward the Skyway. Here's the other side of the Skyway. That's south of 2, North Shore Boulevard, basically. So the Skyway looks good. We'll flip ahead to third line. Nothing happening, which is doing okay so far this morning. So we'll keep you posted. We'll look at weather and traffic, of course, coming up. Right now, the news.
Okay, thanks, Brian. Let's get into Canada Post, because today they're going to be accepting commercial letters and parcels as they get back to normal following the month-long strike. I want to bring in Simone Gavros, who joins us from the processing plant in Stony Creek with the details. You know what? I guess it does look different for you being there today because there's no striking workers behind you.
Yeah, Tim, no strike anymore. That wrapped up as of Tuesday, so everyone is back to work and working through that backlog. Canada Post says that mail and parcels are going to be processed on a first in, first out basis, and that's working through that backlog since everything was kind of trapped in the system as of November 15th, but they are warning customers that they're going to see some delays. So here's what that means for you. Customers are able to drop off mail and parcels at processing plants, depots, and commercial deposit centers. Neighborhood mail is also going to be starting up again today. Canada Post is warning about lineups and delays at facilities for the first few days, so they're asking for your patience. Scheduled pickups will also start today, but will take some time to process items there. And for the time being, they've suspended their on-time service guarantees while they work to stabilize the network. International mail, on the other hand, that's going to be accepted starting on Monday. Now, Canada Post has also provided an update on Santa letters. All Santa letters mailed by December 23rd will be delivered straight to the North Pole. The scanners at processing plants are set up to locate the letters identified by the HOH-OHO postal code. Now, although Santa won't have time to respond to all of the letters, Canada Post says that it wants all the children to know that they'll arrive by Christmas Eve. Now, some municipalities, including Hamilton, Burlington, and Lincoln, are just letting people know that they are going to be experiencing some delays when it comes to receiving any mail by the town or city. For now, something's back over to you, Annette.
Okay, thanks very much, Simone. A Hamilton Liberal MP says almost half of the party's members of parliament could be ready to oppose Prime Minister Justin Trudeau as leader. Trudeau is facing growing calls for his resignation after Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland suddenly quit on Monday over the way that she was being treated. Hamilton East Stony Creek MP Chad Collins says there could be an exodus of MPs from the party if Trudeau doesn't go.
If he isn't leaving, I think a lot of people, we have 153 Liberal members, there'll be a lot of people who have important life decisions to make next year with their friends and family, and I think we'll probably see an exodus of members across the country who decide not to run.
Collins didn't have anything bad to say about Trudeau, just that he's been around for almost 10 years and people want to change. He adds history will be kind to him as leader because of his records on things like climate change. The Prime Minister is reportedly taking time to reflect on his future.
Burlington man is among 4 people arrested after a jewelry store robbery. All 4 were nabbed with the help from a police helicopter.
They're southbound, like you said, running now into the tree lot. They are walking, sort of jogging with bags in their hands. And they know we're here.
Fascinating look on how they got them. The 4 ran from a stolen SUV into a wooded area in Toronto. They were quickly arrested with the help of York Regional Police in the air and their support unit helicopter, and with the help from a canine unit. 2 men in their 20s, including 20-year-old Chi Brooks Baptiste from Burlington, and 2 16-year-olds face several robbery charges. Of the 4, 3 were out on a total of 10 release orders. The arrests, they happened within hours of a jewelry store robbery in Richmond Hill on Tuesday afternoon.
Sentencing has been rescheduled for a Hamilton man after a spree of random attacks in the city 4 years ago. An outburst from Keith Overholt caused the delay. He's been convicted of first-degree murder and 2 counts of attempted murder. All 3 attacks happened within hours of each other the night of November 9th, 2020. A woman was hit on the head 14 times before somebody came forward to stop the attack. Then Overholt changed clothes and killed 29-year-old Andrew Ainskow in an alley, stabbing him repeatedly. A 3rd attack was stopped when a witness intervened. During his sentencing, Overholt repeatedly interrupted the judge and accused a victim's family members of fake crying. Victim impact statements and submissions from the Crown and Defence, though, went ahead after Overholt was removed from the court.
I think it's important to acknowledge that the court allowed the victim impact statements to progress today. I think that's super important. I think that was very important to the families and to the victims involved and impacted by, by these attempt murders and murder.
That's Hamilton Detective Sergeant Steve Berzak, who oversaw the case. Keith Overholt's sentence hearing will continue next month without Overholt in court. He will be watching over video from jail. Another sentencing hearing in Hamilton did go ahead yesterday for a man found guilty of killing his 16-year-old cousin. The mother of 16-year-old Mark Biestong shared the impact of losing her son, describing him as a source of strength and joy. Lawrence Biestong has been found guilty of second-degree murder in stabbing and killing him. It happened in July of last year when Mark was stabbed in the chest with a kitchen knife by his cousin at a family party. It followed a basketball game at a park that escalated into aggression. More than 200 victim impact statements have been submitted. Lawrence Biestong will be sentenced January 10th. Well, Hamilton's Tim Hortons Field is in for a rebrand. Hamilton Sports Group has announced that the field will be renamed with a new sponsor after a 10-year naming rights agreement with Tim Hortons runs out at the end of this year. The new sponsor has not been disclosed. The stadium also, of course, hosts Forge FC along with the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Tim Hortons Field opened in 2014 on the site of Ivor Wynne Stadium.
Can we get a GoFundMe page going? Maybe we could just call it the Donut Box because that's what everybody calls it.
Yeah, I like the name of Donut Box.
Right, let's just keep that going. It's going to be tough to change that name. All right, we'll talk more about that in Sportsline 7 o'clock. Sauk Maple Leafs back on the ice in Dallas. Starting life without goalie Anthony Stolar is out for a little while, but Joseph Wall and the Buds responded well thanks to a solid second period.
Tripped over the referee and was out of the play momentarily. The chance, Nylander in, scores!
Willie Nylander, his usual fantastic self. He was put in the top line alongside Austin Matthews. Mitch Marner paid off as they would hook up in the middle frame to tie things up. The third line actually did a lot of the heavy lifting. Oh, that's a beautiful goal right there. Oh, my goodness. Nick Robertson playing his older brother Jason. He would score 15 seconds later to put the Buds in front for good. He also assisted on Bobby McMahon's goal. Nylander would score again into the empty net. Joseph Woll, he was fantastic. He was the star. He made 36 saves. Toronto was badly outshot. But they take it 5-3, their fourth win in 5 games. They're now off to Buffalo to face the train wreck that is the Sabres tomorrow night, who have dropped 11 straight games, but always seem to bring it when Leafs Nation takes over their arena.
Carrying on the right side, spins back, has Hamara. Hamara back to the right circle. Lourdes scores! From 4-1 down, the Bulldogs take the 5-4 lead on a Lourdes laser.
Yeah, to the Civic Center in Brantford, where things didn't start out well for the Bulldogs, who were hosting the shorthanded Steelheads. A couple of their stars are with the Canadian juniors. They fell behind 4-1 before the Dogs would score 6 unanswered. They would skate away with a 7-4 win. Patrick Thomas, Jake O'Brien would each score twice, have 3-point nights. And Nick Lardis scored his 29th, one off the league lead in his 200th OHL game. Bulldogs have one more game before their Christmas break as they're off to Oshawa tomorrow night.
New York wins the face-off to start the power play. Zandy Hart sling it across for Eldridge. Zandy Hart takes a shot through traffic and scores!
Toronto Scepter is finally back on the ice after a week and a half off in New York to face the Sirens, who had their home opener, and the Sirens were ringing in the second period because they exploded with 4 goals in the middle frame to take a commanding lead, and then they held on for the 4-2 win. Toronto scored twice in the third, I guess, to make it respectable. But it was the Scepter's 3rd straight loss. They try and get back on track Saturday when Montreal arrives at Coca-Cola Coliseum exhibition. Week 16 kicks off in La La Land with the Chargers facing the Broncos in the NFL. Bills back in action Sunday when they face the Patriots for the first time all season at Orchard Park. And their QB has all but wrapped up the MVP award with his stellar play. But also, for the 3rd time this season, Josh Allen has been named AFC Offensive Player of the Year. He has been so good all year. But in Sunday's 48-42 road victory over the Detroit Lions, he was next level and continues to set records, becoming the first player in NFL history with at least 2 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns in consecutive weeks. Doing that in 3 games in 1 season.
Okay, 19th morning of December already. It's Thursday. The time is 6:12. Let's get you into traffic this morning. And thankfully this morning, as opposed to what we had yesterday morning, not a lot happening. 403 Waterdown Road, that's our exclusive camera, is doing fine. So we'll check some MTO traffic cameras. We'll start in St. Catharines, QEW Niagara. Nothing to see in either direction there. Same with Nikola Tesla Boulevard, Toronto bound towards us here. Now Toronto bound away from us, east of Brant, east of Royal Windsor, the same thing. All doing fine here, 427 Gardner, QEW combination. Nothing to see on the roads this morning. Good news. All right, temperature this morning, we're chillier than we were yesterday morning to start the day. We're sitting in the minus column, -2. The winds northwest at 22 kilometers an hour. That makes it feel like -8, so it's a chilly start. We do have a mainly cloudy sky. We have had some flurries. We could get some more for the day today, but the temperature is only going to climb to -1 today. The winds, thankfully, fairly light, but it's still going to feel like -7. That'll be the wind chill for the day today. What we have is that ridge of high pressure to the north, giving us that northwesterly flow. However, we've got a low pressure system approaching. That's going to bring in some flurries overnight. Could be heavy at times. And then tomorrow, 5 centimeters of snow during the day, generally around the Horseshoe, maybe a little bit less for Niagara. Could get a couple of centimeters there, but generally we're looking at 5 centimeters of snow during the day tomorrow. But today, temperature for Niagara anyhow 0. The rest of us -1, -3 for Guelph and Kitchener. A little bit of flurry activity, but some sunshine too. Tonight, it gets cloudy. The heavy flurries settle in. Temperatures a little bit cooler, -3 to -5 degrees, -6 for Guelph and Kitchener. And then tomorrow, and we're going to get some blowing snow. The winds will be strong from the northeast, 30 to 50 kilometers an hour, so -1 to -3 for the Horseshoe, and about 5 centimeters of snow tomorrow. It's going to be a white head into the Christmas and the winter season. So mostly cloudy out the door this morning. It is fairly windy as well. The temperature -2, but the winds make it feel like -8 at the moment. Long range coming up. Annette, Tim.
Okay, thank you.
Yay, off and running on your Thursday morning. We're going to check in with our pal Emily, see what she's got going on in Chit Chat today. Also, markets around the world. They took a significant hit as the U.S. Central Bank announced their final interest rate decision of the year. That and other biz news in 2. We just got to see Emily do some math in the break. It was fascinating.
Glad you did it. I didn't want to.
Wow. Here comes the bus, and here's Emily, and here's Tim throwing her under.
I'll save you.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have to count on my fingers. It is what it is.
What were you counting for?
I was counting for Sleep Still Christmas.
Okay. And where are we at?
6.
6 more.
6 more.
So
Right.
the
I'm just
elf,
getting so excited.
the elf is going to visit our house 6 more times before
nice.
I don't have to see it again until next year.
Oh, yay, fun.
I'm sad about that.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. Okay, 6 more sleeps. I'll check back in tomorrow and see how many we're at. The 2025 Oscars shortlist has been released. We will take a look at the trailer for Richard Gere's newest film, O Canada, and later we'll talk about this year's top baby names in Ontario.
I think I probably know which the top ones are right now. But we'll save that.
And there's 10.
Okay. We'll see at the couch to do some more mathematics.
I'll be there.
Speaking of math, let's get into business news. And oh man,
it hurts.
Oh goodness, our dollar took another hit yesterday, down 26 basis points compared with yesterday. I guess this is where it's at right now in overseas trading, because this morning it's at 69.46 cents. Yeah, so dropping below that 70-cent mark. Gold, it's down almost $20, 26.33.60. Crude oil, it's off 2 pennies, 70.56 a barrel. I want to get to Europe. Hey Europe, how you doing? It's markets there are down in London, Frankfurt, and Paris.
In Asia, the markets were down today in Tokyo, Hong Kong, and Shanghai, almost all by triple digits. Huge losses in North America. So the TSX was down 562 points. The Dow Jones, this is frightening territory here. 1,100 points it was down. NASDAQ dropped by 716, all because of...
Thanks for the lead in on that. Yeah, because the U.S. Federal Reserve, they cut its key interest rate by 1/4 point. This is the 3rd cut this year, but it signaled something, that it expects to reduce rates more slowly next year than previously envisioned, mostly because of the still elevated inflation. The Fed's policymakers, they projected that they will cut their benchmark rate by 1/4 point, just twice in 2025, down from their estimate in September of 4 rate cuts. So these new projections suggest that consumers may not enjoy much lower rates next year for mortgages, auto loans, and credit cards in the States. By the way, this is all the U.S. stuff. The Fed's expectation of just 2 rate cuts in 2025, well, that is why it rattled Wall Street, sending stock prices plummeting in the worst day for the market in 4 months.
Closer to home, the union that represents Ontario college faculties is going to be in a legal strike position January 4th. The Ontario Public Service Employees Union says there has been no real progress in contract talks. Mediation with the college's bargaining agents earlier this month was unsuccessful. So the College Employer Council, that's the bargaining agent for the province's 24 public colleges, it's asking the union to reconsider its current demands as colleges deal with declining enrollment and government policy changes, specifically around international students.
Timeline for opening a permanent new Ontario Science Centre appears to have been delayed, with infrastructure officials telling the Auditor General's office the centre is set to be up and running in 2029. When Premier Doug Ford announced the planned move to Ontario Place last year, the Science Centre said the new facility would be open in 2028. Well, in June, the government announced the abrupt closure of the Science Centre over structural concerns with its roof. Its press release said the Ontario Place facility would open, quote, as early as 2028. The co-chair of the group, Save Ontario's Science Centre, says a whole generation of Ontario kids are not going to have access to world-class science education that the Science Centre has provided for 55 years.
Remember, so many great school trips to the
Big
Science
time.
Centre.
I guess you're going to have to take to Science North.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Sudbury?
I was up there, yeah.
Yeah.
It's great up there. Good morning to you in Sudbury. I mean,
Yes.
some of you watched. Okay, let's keep things going as we, I think we're getting Christmas. Santa's back in Brian's long-range forecast.
Good morning, 6:24 already. Let's get going here. QEW, Ontario Street, St. Catharines. We'll start there first of all. Toronto bound away from us. Really light volume through there. South of 2, starting to get busy coming off the Skyway Bridge, coming down to North Shore Boulevard. So just a bit of volume building there. Third line still looks okay. Nothing at Sheraton. Heading around to Ward, Mississauga Road, and we'll dip into the 403 at Eastgate Parkway. Generally, that's how everything looks this morning, so no problems on the roads. Temperatures at the moment, we're a little chillier than we were yesterday morning to start the day. -2 in Hamilton and Grimsby. Wind chill, well, that's -8 right now. -1 Mississauga, 0 for Toronto. Seasonal temperatures right now are 0 for the daytime high. We won't quite get there today, and -7 for the overnight low. Sun times, records for today right there. And yeah, there is a chance of a little bit of flurry activity, particularly this morning, and a mainly cloudy start to the day. Temperature -2 for the first spell and -2 for afterwards, with a fairly cloudy sky after school today. So -1 will be the high today, wind chill about -7. Tonight back down to -4, wind chill -10, so pretty chilly. Tomorrow, 5 centimeters of snow. Now we could get some heavy flurries throughout the overnight hours tonight, cycling into that blast of snow tomorrow, 5 centimeters and -1. Then we arrive into winter on Saturday, -7 only the high, and then -9 on Sunday. Those are way below seasonal for daytime highs. At least we'll get some sun. Monday -3 into Christmas, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, +1, +2. Could get some mixing on Wednesday. That's a look at your forecast. Annette, Tim.
We're waving at Santa.
We're waving back at Santa.
He's waving at us. So much
Santa.
easier to do than when his boots were stuck in the chimney and we had to do it on headstand. We did it the other day,
Yeah.
if you missed it. Yeah.
I'm waving, the control room's like, yeah, what do you want? I'm just like, no, I'm waving at Santa.
We're waving at Santa. Okay, I'm going to give you a Christmas gift here.
What's
Chance
that?
to use your Australian accent.
Oh my goodness. Oh
because
yeah.
animals at an Australian wildlife park, they're enjoying an early delivery.
It's Christmas night, my
Santa.
viewers, because they're devouring a holiday feast at a wildlife park. So koalas, they're munching on their favorite eucalyptus leaves. Kangaroos enjoying a mixture of leaves, apples, and sweet potatoes. Not to be forgotten, a quokka made quick work of his favorite snack, nuts. Now, they were scattered all over Santa's sled and mailbox. Now, the park is home to over 100 kangaroos, 35 koalas, and a mixture of other native and international wildlife.
And scene.
Oh, goodness.
That was awesome.
Yikes.
Okay,
Yeah,
there you go.
Little rusty.
No,
little
it was
rusty.
good. It was good.
Rusty.
All
All right, apologies.
Stay with this. We've got lots more to come right after the break. Can I get you a water?